Okay, this is study guide part 2 for exam part 2. I'm going to have you copy this work, check your work, and then write down the 10 words to show me that you listen. There's 10 of them. So here we go. Master ratio problems 2 to 5. Let's write that first one down. 2 to 5. And then I have 12 to 35. Write those two down and then compare them. Look at 2 to 12. Looks like I'm timesing that by 6. 2 times 6 gives me 12. But when I come over here to 5, I'm timesing that 5 times 7 to get that 35. But because these numbers are different, I'm timesing both that 2 and 5 by different numbers. That makes this one a no, not equivalent. Because one number times by 6, or one number multiplied, if I can spell, by 6, and the other number by 7. If I would have multiplied both those numbers by the same exact number, then it would have been a yes. But since this one is times by two different numbers, that means the ratios are going to have different values. That makes this a big fat no. First word is the. The. But again, back to this one. Remember, if I had times this one by 6 instead and had 30 right there, that would make that a yes equivalent. When I times both numbers by 6, that proves that they have the same value equivalent. But this one, I times by two different numbers, made it a no. All right, number 2, always take the miles for miles per gallon unit rate. Miles goes on top, 500 miles, always on top, divided by, for this unit rate, gallons. It's always miles per gallon. Gallons on top, on bottom. To get the unit rate, I'm going to divide both those numbers, typing that top number first. Always that order matters. Type in 500 first, divided by 40, and that gives me 12.5. And don't just leave it like that. 12.5 miles for every 1 gallon used. Show that unit rate. Show that it's over 1. Show that unit rate. That's unit rate. Breaking it down into its base single units. 12.5 miles for every gallon. All right, next problem has you take the unit rate and then times it. 5.25, $5.25 for every 5 pounds for this problem. Always dollars per pound, just like miles per gallon. 5.25, type that number first, divided by 5. That gives me the unit rate, which is $1.05 for every 1 pound. Know this is a two-part problem. Now take that $1.05. Make sure you're showing me these units. $1.05 for every 1 pound that I'm buying. So now what I'm going to do when I'm timesing that 12 pounds right here, buying 12 pounds of that, I'm timesing that $1.05 per 1 pound times 12 pounds. The pounds units will cancel away and just leave me that dollar unit that I'm looking for. So when these pounds units go away and I times that 1.05 by 12, that gives me what I'm spending, $12.60. Notice there's only a dollar unit there. There's nothing else. Leave that alone. Look at that. Never write it like this. Don't write it like this. Don't write for 12 pounds. Don't do that. Just leave that $12.60. Nice, neat. No other units. All right, number 4, another ratio problem. I have 3 to 4 and 24 to some unknown. So maybe write it just like it's spelled out. 24, and then I have an unknown number of cats, trying to find that number right there. The other ratio is 3 to 4. And again, these ratios, look and see what I'm doing right here. What am I timesing 3 by to get that 24? Once I find that number, times this 4 by that same number. So it looks like the only number times 3 to get that 24 is if I multiply that by 8. I got that by either knowing that or taking 24 divided by 3 to get that 8. Go over here to that 4 and times that by that same 8. And that will give you, to keep this ratio true, 32 cats. All right, next set. Next word is best. Second word is best. All right, here we go. Next one. Plain unit rate, but it's backwards, trying to fake you out. Always dollars here. And this unit rate looks like cans, dollars per cans. So that's $150, always dollars on top, over 40 cans. Find that unit rate. Type that 150, divide it by 40. That will give you $3.75 for every 1 can that you buy. How much for each can? $3.75. How much for 2 cans? Just times that by 2. All right, problem number 6. This one, a ratio problem where I give you the percent. So any percent, automatically put that percent over 100, and know that for this problem, that 150 represents, this 30% represents a part of a whole. So put that 150 on top. And then again, ratio math. Here I go. Figure out what I'm doing to 3 to get this 150. And then once I find that number, times this 100 by that same number I'm timesing 30 by to get 50. So again, if you can't see that, take that bigger number, 150, divide it by 30, and that number will appear on your calculator, 5. I'm timesing by 5. So go over here to this 100 and times that by 5. And that will give you the equal ratio number, 500. 500 cans represents 150 is 30% of that. Next word is weigh. Third word is weigh. All right, next problem. Plug it in. Here I go. Take this 7 and plug it in both places for n. But know that 7 squared is never 14. So here we go. I got 5 plus putting that 7 right here to the second power. Remember, that's never 14. That's 7 times 7, 49. And then I do 3 times 13, and then I plug in another 7 for that n right there. Now do order of operations. Doing this power, get that 49. Use your calculator to times 3 times 13 correctly. That gives me 5 plus. Remember, never 14. That's the worst thing you could do right there, is get 14. That's 7 times 7, 49. Never 7 times 2. 3 times 13 gives me 39 minus that 7. If I add that left to right, 5 plus that 49 gives me 54. And then taking that 54 plus 39 gives me 93. And then that 93 take away 7 gives me 86. Let me just make sure to double check this arithmetic. Never want to miss this one. 5 plus 49 plus 39 minus 7 all at once. My calculator spits out 86. Here we go. Next problem. This one, please know that these are not going to have both T's. That has a T and that has a T. But if you're looking at this 4, it's missing a T. That makes these unlike terms. You cannot add these the way they are. So because they both do not have a T, that makes this a no, not equivalent. And then make sure for full credit, tell me why. Because they are unlike terms. Or they both don't have a T. Both unlike terms. If they both had a T, remember? If I put a T right there, then I could combine those to get 12T in this. That would be equivalent. But that 4 right there, look, is missing the T. That's a no. All right, next problem. Here we go. Next secret word is to. To. All right, here we go. Which one is proportional? Knowing that proportional graph is straight through that origin. The only one of these graphs that is straight through that corner origin is this one right here. Because this graph is curved, that makes that not proportional. It has to be straight. And then number 10, here we go, number 10, 735. And then I have that 4 pounds. Always for this, money on top. So take that $7.35 and divide that by that 1.4 pounds. Always calculator, type that top number first, 7.35, be precise, divided by 1.4, be precise, gives me 5.25. Don't leave it like that. $5.25 for every 1 pound that you're buying. And again, unit rate is useful because it will help us then figure out maybe 2 pounds. 2 pounds would be $10.50. I can see that quick. All right, here we go. Next problem, 11. Which one of these graphs is proportional? Which one of these equations? And looking at this 3, it's missing an X. So that one is not proportional. That would be actually, if you graph that, a straight line going through 3 on the y-axis. That's not proportional. This one right here has a 3. This one right here has a -3. Cannot have another number there because that makes these graphs, when you graph them, not go through the origin like this. That means these graphs will either go up the y-axis before starting the straight or down. That makes those not proportional. This is the only one that has a number and an X and then no number right there. This is the only one, if I graphed it, that would be going straight line over 1 up 3, over one another up 3. That is the only proportional one. Next word is study. Study. All right, next problem, writing this in terms of X and Y in that exact order, X and Y, depending on what the units are. So X is months. The Y unit for this problem is miles. So explain that in exact order. Maybe throw the word after in there or something, I don't know. After 4 months, after 4 months have gone by, I have 35 miles. And you can make it into maybe a little story. After 4 months, I've gone 35 miles. Or after 4 months, the distance now is 35 miles. So got to do it in that exact order. That order, when you type in months and then miles, that order, when you write it out like that, matches how we describe a coordinate in terms of X and Y. 4 months, 35 miles. That's what that point means right there in the graph. Would be right about here. All right, next set of problems. Here we go. Number 13, this one. Again, another problem like that, where the x-axis is going to be pounds. The y-axis is going to be dollars. 0, 0. We've done this one many times. 0, 0, 0 pounds. $0. Do it in that order. Write it out. 0 pounds cost $0. Do it in that exact order, explaining like an XY coordinate. All right, number 14, here we go. Triple ratio. Write out the ratio. I would. 3, 1, 2. I'm putting that 40 right here. To fill in these other numbers that I need these two other numbers, and then I'm going to total all of them up at the end to get that middle number. Look, from 2 to 1, if I'm going down, looks like I'm dividing by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So if I take this 40 and I divide it by 2, it will give me what that middle number is to keep that ratio true. That middle number, I believe, is blue. So that would be 20 of those blue. And that makes sense because 20 to 40 is the same ratio of 1 to 2. Cutting it down by 2, 40 to 20. Multiplying by 2, 20 to 40. And then I look at this next one here. Now I'm getting bigger. I'm tripling, getting 3. I need to take this 20 and triple it. 20 times 3 will give me the number of red carnations. 20 times 3 gives me 60. And then for this problem, add them all up. Take that 60, add that to 20, add that to 40, total them up. That gives me 80 plus that 40 gives me a total of 120. Make sure you put that number right here, 120 total. All right, next problem. The only one that has you distribute, next word is. The next word is. All right, so for this one, distribute. 3 times x gives me 3x. 3 times 4 gives me 12. The only one that shows that correctly, 3x plus 12. All right, this one, make sure you show me the work. Inverse operations. Leave that inequality. Know that this problem right here, just like on the final, this is more than are numbers to the right on the number line, more than. So here I go. To solve this, opposite of taking away 3, adding 3. Bring that 5p down. Don't write an equal right here. Worst thing you could do. Bring that 5p down and bring that inequality more than or equal to. That gives me 18. Now the opposite, timesing by 5, dividing both sides by 5. And that gives me all numbers have to be more than or equal to, and take that 18 divided by 5, 18 first, divided by 5 second, gives me numbers more than 3.6. And if I look at my number line here, I got 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 3 numbers more than 3.6. So if I look, that chart right here, 2, 3, 4, that would be no good because that is not more than 3.6. If I look at 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6 looks like the money set. If I look at 1, 2, 3, way too small. If I look at 3, 4, 5, because I have 3 in there and 3 is not more than 3.6, I can't include that one in there. So careful, that one looks close. Only 4, 5, 6. All right, moving on. This one right here, looking at parts, knowing that this 1 ain't going to cut it. If I put this 3 right here, that 3, I need some number times 3 to get 40x. And I could see there's nothing really times 3 to get 40. So I'm not going to put 3 there. How about put this next number? How about 4? Put 4 right there. Because with 4, I could see that if I'm timesing that 4 by something right here to get this 40x, I have that right there. It looks like 4 times, not just 10, 4 times 10x. That would give me 40x. So now I just need one more. What number times 4 gives me this 12? And I could see That's where now the plane 3, not 3x, now the plane 3 works in there, because if I distribute 4 times 10x, that clearly gives me 40x what I need. 4 times positive 3, that gives me 12. So the pieces I need, 3, 4, and 10x. Those are the 3 pieces I would click and drag into those spots in that exact order. All right, here we go. 18. Next word is build. Secret word next is build. All right, 18. This one, $8 per day using S is small is going to be 8S. $8 per day, or 8 times per day, 8S. $10 per day using that L is going to be 10L. $10 per day, 10 times L. The only one that shows that 8S plus 10L in that exact order is this one. This one has the L with the 8 and the S with the 10. This one has 8 and 10 added up. This one has some whacked out where you're adding. The only one that works, 8S, $8, 8 times small, 10 times L. All right, next one, 35. I need at least 35, 35 or more. I need at least 35 is 35 or more. 35, 36, 37, 38. The only one that works is this one right here. I know at least looks like it should be going to the left, but that doesn't work. This one doesn't work because it's showing an open circle on 35, showing it's not included. This one is not at least. This one's showing at most. I know that's kind of tricky, but this one's at most 35. The highest you could go is 35. This one has a open circle on that, so it doesn't apply. All right, next problem. Adding this number right here. This is adding by 5, adding by 5. To make these numbers a little bit more clear so you could see the C column, the T column, looks like starting at 30, going up by 5 each time, going up by 5. That going up by 5, that's the number that's going to go in front of your T. It's going to be 5T. This 30 right here is going to be your y-intercept. The way we've been doing these is writing these kind of in slope-intercept form. We've been writing these C equals that 5 times that T. We've been writing it like that, plus that y-intercept of 30. We've been writing it like that. 5T, I could write a 5 right there. 5T plus 30. And I can see the only one that shows that has 30 written first and the 5T second. Be careful here. This one has the T in front of the 30. This one has minus 5. This one it's clearly going up by 5. So the only one that works, 30 plus 5T. And you don't believe me, try it. Plug in 1 day. 5 times 1 plus 30. How much am I paying? I'm paying $35. Plug that in, it will work. All right, here we go. Last set. Next word is repetition. Repetition. All right, for this one, you're adding up all the x's. You're adding up this 3x, this 4x, this 2x, this 5x. If I add all those x's up, 3x plus 4x, 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus 5, that gives me 14 of those x's when I add up just those x numbers, because those are the like terms. Now the 3 plain numbers, -4, -6, plus 8, a little bit harder. Might want to use your calculator to do those. That gives me -10 plus 8, which is -2. So this one, when I combine those like terms to show perimeter, it gives me 14x minus 2. All right, next problem here. This one just has you use your calculator to clearly total those, add those, be precise. 13.4 plus 12.3 plus 6.9 plus 4.2 gives me a total of 36.8. Don't miss those. Be precise. All right, next problem here has me take negative 3.5. Looks like I'm adding 19.3, and then I'm subtracting, decreasing 24.3, and then I'm adding another 9.3, I believe. So here we go. Know how to make that negative 3.5. Remember, for this, you got to be careful. Don't hit the normal subtraction button. Make that negative 3.5. You got to go down to the calculator button, which has a little parenthesis with the minus. That's what you need to hit first to make that 3.5. Then the rest, you want to use normal minus after that. So negative 3.5 plus, because that's increasing 19.3, minus, because that's decreasing 24.3, and then plus one more increase of one more 9.3 gives me 0.8, I believe. Let's double check that one. So negative 3.5 plus 19.3 minus 24.3 plus 9.3. Yep, gives me 0.8. All right, next problem and next word. Next word is over. Over. That's the ninth word, over. All right, here we go. Next one. 58 is your y-intercept. This $4 per hour is technically your slope, and it's giving you the total. So here we go. $4 per hour, 4h, plus that $58 you spent as a deposit before you've even been on the slopes for an hour, equals that total of 72. Just becomes a two-step equation. Take away 58 on both sides, minus 58 from 72. Bring that 4h down, trying to solve for h. 72 minus 58 gives me 14. And then right there, the opposite, timesing by 4, dividing by 4. Divide that 14 by 4. 14 divided by 4 gives me h is 3.5 hours. Write that unit there, 3.5 hours. How long was I renting to get my bank to spit out 72 bucks? 3.5 hours. Last word is again. Again. Show all that work and those 10 words. Replay it if you didn't hear them. Good luck.